Varder, LFT member. I'm currently in between schools, but I'm coming from JW Falk Elementary.
One of my favorite schools.
Yeah.
Great school. Thank y'all for coming, especially this summer. Approval of the agenda, is there a motion? Wait. Is there, excuse me, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, is there a second? Second. Okay. I'm making sure, I'm gonna make sure I have your information. I do. You're one of the ones I had. Any objection to approving the agenda? If not, we'll move on to the minutes, approval of the minutes. For now moved, is there a second?
A second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, report, summary of health plan financials.
All right. So I'm happy to report to you today that things are pretty much status quo as compared to when I talked to you last time, and numbers have actually improved slightly. So we're still in very favorable shape. So if you go to page 1, and this is updating you through April of this year. We all know that last year was a kind of a tough year with some increased costs. Costs have come back down. You can see that we are right now with total planned cost midway into the numbers here at $15,208,129. So we're a third of the way into the year with 4 months. Basically, if we annualize that number, we would have a total cost of about $45,625,000, which is a lot less than the $49,906,000, or basically $50 million that we had in planned costs last year. And we actually have an increased number of members. So on a per employee per month basis, doing much better, and I'll show you those numbers on your next page here. But basically, with a total planned cost of $15,208,129 and total funding of $16,790,172, net employer cost at $10,135. Our budget loss ratio has dropped from 99.1 to 90.6. So if you look back at these numbers, that's very favorable right now. And we're also working with a surplus of $1,582,000. All of that being said, we also remember are implementing the recent changes we've made to control costs. That all starts on July 1st. So, I mean, we're in good shape, and we have more savings strategy being implemented into the plan. When we consider that we're looking at 4 months as opposed to 12 months, the easiest way or the proper way to make the comparison is on page 2 here, to put things in perspective on a per employee per month basis, which takes into account the growth in membership and participation count. So you'll see that participation's peaked up just a little bit. It's remained stable, but it's going up basically about 0.8%. So we've been at 56.91 last year, averaging 57.38 this particular year. On a medical claim standpoint, we're almost equal, 469 to 467. If you remember last time, we actually had a bit of a decrease in the medical. Part of that coming off of some high-cost claimants. Of course, we're going to have some more that come into the plan. Prescription drugs still down some 12.9%. Total claims down 5.2%. Our plan reimbursement.
I have a question before you go any further. The 2018, that's the total year?
Yes, ma'am.
It's not the same period of time?
No, ma'am. We always report this in this way because we're looking at on a per employee per month basis. So,
well, I'm questioning because when I'm looking at it, you're saying we're looking all right, but medical claims paid up until April of 2019 is 467, but for the total year of 2018 it was 469.
I think it's an average though, right? Per employee?
Right, it's an average per employee per month.
So you're not gonna be concerned that that average could possibly go up and drive the cost up? I'm just asking.
Well, that's something that we're always monitoring on a monthly basis. But the group and the size of the group is pretty predictable, because not only, we're getting your claims run in every week. We're monitoring the large claimants and that type of thing. On a large claimant basis, we're down from the number of large claimants. We're down from the dollar amount in large claimants. Last year, we had cancer and heart and musculoskeletal to a high degree. And that has calmed down some. Prescription drugs have come down greatly with the contractual changes we made and increased rebates. So I'm pretty comfortable with the accuracy of the numbers, especially with the period here, as the plan matures through the year. So from a total claims perspective, we're down about 5.2. When we measured against the first 4 months of last year, we're doing real well, because if you remember, the first 4 months of last year were a doozy. We had some high-cost claimants really increasing our cost, and some of those claimants have completed their treatment. Some of them are no longer covered under the plan. Plan reimbursements, because of our reinsurance and because of our prescription drug rebates going up so much, have increased some 63%. So when we look at things on a net cost basis, gross claims down 5.2%, net claims down 10.9%. Total fixed costs remaining about the same, up a little bit from reinsurance premiums.
And then what was the decline in the drug claims again? It was 12 point something.
12.9.
Thank you.
Okay. All of that is bulleted at the bottom.
I see it.
Okay. And so with all of that being said, our total plan costs through April down 9.4%. Retiree premium down 5.6%. Total plan cost, once again, down 9.3%. Net employer cost, okay, because of our funding, down some 12.6%. Look at where we were from a surplus last year, $7 per employee per month. We cut it close. We're doing a lot better right now. I didn't even compute a percentage on that, because number one, it's a little early in the year to do that. Number two, it's 800%.
Lynn, we have some people here who haven't been here before. Could you go over the changes for July that'll be made July 1?
Sure. And for those of you who are new to the committee, obviously, this is what we call a partially self-funded plan. We are not going to Blue Cross and paying them a premium, and they take full risk of the plan and pay the benefits. We utilize Blue Cross to process claims and provide the network of doctors, hospitals, and medical providers. We utilize RX benefits for our prescription drug benefit management, and for them to negotiate our pricing, our rebate structure, and provide the service and administration on our prescription drugs. These reports give us the financial performance of the plan, but what you need to know is the vast majority of the funding of this plan comes out the coffers of the school system, okay? To the tune of about 95 to 96%, because you're running your plan very, very lean. If we were fully insured, probably a good 18, 20 cents on the dollar would be going to Blue Cross, okay? We only have 5, 6 cents on the dollar as our overhead on this plan, which allows us to dedicate much more money towards paying claims. So we're running the plan much leaner. Since taking over the consulting of the plan, we've had to make some slight changes in benefits. We've increased our discounts on prescription drugs and maximized our rebates, and that's helped out a great deal. But in order over time to stabilize the cost of the plan, you have to make certain tweaks in the benefits, and we've made just minor ones to our out-of-pocket prescription drug co-payments. Okay? very minor changes there. And with that, hopefully, that'll increase our claim, our surplus position, and it'll preclude us from having to increase rates in the future. So we're running quite well right now, which is a good place to be because we know that the summer months are going to increase a bit. Then the fall months will decrease a bit, and we'll probably level out. And if we level out where we are right now, we're going to have a pretty year, okay, with the saving strategies that we've implemented. So we'll be in good financial posture and be able to manage the plan well. I would much rather be managing the plan from the position we're in right now than having to play catch up. And the one thing I can say about this entity as compared to some is we're not kicking the can down the road, and we are not operating in a defensive posture. We're operating in an offensive posture.
So the specifics for July 1 are,
I have them right here, you want me to go?
Sure.
Want me to read them?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the enhanced and basic plans code, we increased the maximum out-of-pocket for prescription drugs from 800 to 1,000. I know you're writing something, go slow.
next. So that's enhanced and
And
basic.
the base. We didn't do anything at all to the high deductible.
Okay.
On the enhanced plan, the out-of-pocket maximum for medical increased from 4,200 to 4,750. And for specialists, their office visit copay increased from $40 to $50, just for specialists.
If it's not too much trouble, could you put that on the retired teachers' Facebook page, Debbie's page?
Oh, yeah, I'll be glad to, I'll make
Thank
myself a note. And on the basic plan, we also went up on the medical out-of-pocket from $4,950 to $5,500.
And what was that for?
The basic plan, medical out-of-pocket max.
Out of pocket.
Can you repeat that, please? Basic,
Ba-
went from 40,
$4,950 to $5,500.
And that's effective July 1
Yes, ma'am.
this summer.
And for those of you, once again, who are new to the committee, the reason that we looked at those particular benefit items as opposed to others, we always are looking to provide a saving structure that gives us the most bang for the buck, but gives the least disruption or impact to your plan members, because here's the statistics on that. Some 10 to 12% of your plan members drive 90% of your claims. Used to be the 80-20 rule, that 20% of your membership drove 80% of your claims. Now with the cost of high claimants, whether it be end-stage renal disease, cancer predominantly, and a lot of the new high-cost medications, it's more of a 90% of the cost of the plan being driven by 10% or less than that of your membership. So with that in mind, when we make these plan changes, we affect a very small population of your plan. Most of the folks participating in your plan don't even feel these types of benefit changes. And then on the other, there's some school of thought that if you're going to make those kind of benefit changes, it does weight a little more towards the people that are utilizing the plan. And also, you've got to keep in mind that as the cost of healthcare continually goes up, let's just use a gallbladder operation, removing a gallbladder for an example. We all know that 10 years ago, the cost of a gallbladder operation cost a lot less than it does today. If you don't change the deductible or the out-of-pocket, who bears that additional cost? The plan, not the plan member. So although the system has borne all of the increased cost over the year, every so often you do need to make some benefit adjustment to keep that pro rata share of cost a little more equal and fair.
I have a question. If I want, who's the president of the Retired Teachers Association is right now?
I'm assuming it's Pat.
Pat, I can send it to her, she can put it on the web, I think.
No, you have to send it to Debbie.
Send it to Debbie Harbour.
Oh, to Deb, okay.
She runs that
She
Facebook
does.
page.
Oh,
And for those of you who are representing LAE, LFT, if you all can email it to however you all communicate with your members, so that the July, they may already know, but just in case they don't know,
and I'll type something up and send it out to all of you, and that way you can have,
that would be
you can
great.
disseminate it however you want.
Mr. Fontaine, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
For the max out-of-pocket, is this similar to other entities like?
That was one of the
Yeah.
other things that we looked at when we made these benefit changes. I always provide benchmarking from the other systems and whatnot. You are still, your benefit structure, I can tell you, does not, my mama.
You better answer.
Better answer.
Your mom wants
Daily check-in to tell me what might be broken that I need to go to management. Last time it was the batteries on her phone. I fixed it and she got a pint of ice cream and when I pulled it out the bag and she saw that it was Creole cream cheese by Bluebell, I got a ooh, and she pulled the top of it and finished the entire thing. Too cute. So back to your question in that just as much as we want to control the cost of the plan, we have to keep in mind that this benefit attracts and retains your personnel. So that's always going to be mindful. And how do you judge that? We benchmark you against all of your peers. We looked at that as well. So we are very favorable in your benefit structure, especially favorable in your what the system charges as compared to other systems, as compared to the Office of Group Benefits. That's really your biggest benchmark. So you're lower in cost, you're better in benefits, and the plan's performing real well. The last page in here basically breaks things down by month. I can't tell you that there's anything in here to really glean from this. I can tell you that because of the recent negotiations we've had on the prescription drugs, our July rebate is looking to bump up. You can see it's gone from the $875 to the $932 mark there, and that should continue to increase. We're also at this particular time looking at some analysis with regard to the prescription drugs, because there's so many pharmacy benefit managers out there jockeying for business, and in this world of it's like the wild, wild west, and we want to make certain that we're getting best-in-class discounts, best-in-class rebates. So that's a periodic analysis that we're doing. There's also been some local druggists that would like us to look at certain PBMs, and we're going to do that as well to appease them, because some of the bigger traditional models actually pay the local druggist a little less in their dispensing fee, but at the same time we have to be mindful of we're going to purchase the best contract that's in the interest of you people who participate in the plan and the financial interest of this school system. Okay? That's who comes first. To me, unless y'all instruct me differently. Okay? I'm watching out for the Lafayette Parish School Systems piggy bank and the members that participated. Okay?
Anybody have any more questions for Lynn?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda, we're clear on RFPs for various services. Mona?
At the last meeting of the board, Mr. Hidalgo had kind of sort of stated that he wanted us to put everything out for RFP, which is virtually impossible. It would be a nightmare for everyone. And I think he was, he thought it over a little more later. And so what I did prepare for information purposes was, what are the services that we procure, that we get input from our Employee Insurance Advisory Committee and our Board Insurance Committee, that we have services, contracts with these people for goods and services. I listed them here with a description of what the service is, what the contract is right now. I have to make one correction before we go. And also, would we recommend the timeline be for a successful transition where we change the vendor? On RX benefits, please note the contract term should be 10/1/18 to 1/1/2020. It wasn't a year, it went all the way to the end of the calendar year.
Can you email that to everybody? Okay.
Can I mention one more thing
Sure.
before we leave? We do need, being as this is through April, okay, we do need to have a meeting after the June experience comes in, so I can update you on mid-year and we look at any strategies that we would need to look towards, implement, anything like that. So y'all let me
September?
know that the June experience is going to come in the probably second week in July, so latter part of July, maybe first part of August, whatever suits you guys. Y'all let me know and I'll be here.
Is
for that.
September too late?
September is not too late.
I'm trying to remember what we did last year. I think we tried to have just
But
this
I would-
one meeting in the
I would
summer.
prefer to be ahead of the game and at least get this in front of you sometime. in
So you
August.
prefer August?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what's the first day of school?
15.
Well, for us is the 8th.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
people go back for in-service on the 8th.
Okay,
So
so
it
it's
starts on the 15th.
a Tuesday between the 8th and the 15th?
The 13th is a day off for teachers. It's an optional insurance service day. So the 13th might work as a Tuesday.
Is that okay with everybody? August the 13th?
We still, we're off that day.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, you might work, but that's that optional in-service day. If you want to work, you can. If
Yeah,
not,
it's not
Oh,
option
yes,
to me.
ma'am.
I'm clear.
yes, ma'am.
Okay,
But is that okay for you, even though it's not optional?
yeah.
That's so close to the beginning of school, and I'm retired. But for you active people, I know it's busy. Is that a good time?
When do you go
Another
back?
week, the week after
The
that?
23rd of July.
Would it be better to wait till later in August for those of you who are still teaching
Yes, ma'am.
to get your
Yeah,
feedback on the
That's what
ground?
I was thinking. Lesson plans and preparing rooms.
So what's the Tuesday, third Tuesday in August? 20th?
27th.
About the
How about the 27th?
Yeah.
That'll give you
That
some
give you enough time
time.
to get settled in.
That's
Okay,
press
so-
time for you.
Oh, you have too many things in
What,
August.
your
No, that's
anniversary?
fine.
August the 27th
Bring
then?
her to Lafayette and you can go to Ruth Chris's, it's just down the road.
Might have a pretty redhead sitting there.
Kill two birds with one stone. August 27th, okay, Lynn?
August
At 5:30.
That'll actually allow me to present August to you as well.
Okay.
Okay, good.
It's awesome.
And we'll get an email out to the people who are on here and send a reminder like we did this time. So, Ma, you're going to get us the RFPs for the various services that you're going to present tomorrow night at the board, right?
This is what I'm presenting, that
The
handout.
timeline.
That's all, yeah, just reporting on the timeline. I
And
don't
the
know that they're gonna
timeline-
do anything about it.
Those timelines, Lynn does most of these RFPs, that's correct? Those timelines do provide options, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So we do have an option, at the end of this year with Blue Cross, we have an option to
Yes, ma'am.
renew.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Anybody have any questions about
Thank you
those?
so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mona, you want to just quickly read what, I think there's just 5 or 6 of them. You just want to read where our contracts are?
Sure. So for Blue Cross Blue Shield, they are our third-party administrator, as he was mentioning. They handle our claims. The contract term is always a calendar year, so it's currently January 1 through December 31, 2019. Generally, when we're going out for TPA services, our health care consultant handles the RFP, because it can be a very complicated document that he has to prepare and that they're trained and accustomed to doing. And so we recommend that we allow, from the time you issue an RFP, 90 days to receive it, to analyze it, and to to vote on it, to decide if you're going to move. Implementation, so if I read this to you word for word, okay, transitioning to a new TPA takes 90 days, so you would ideally issue the RFP in February, and then in April, they are analyzed and received, award the contract in May, and then we have June through August to prepare for the transition. RX benefits, they administer our prescription drug benefits. We moved the business 10/1 of 2018 and had the contract through the end of the calendar year, because that's normally, it's a calendar year contract, so it's up until 1/1/2020. Again, the RFP is written and issued by the healthcare consultant. The timeline to issue the RFP and to receive and analyze proposals is 90 days. It takes about 60 to transition to a new administrator. If you issue the RFP in March, analyze the responses in May, board awards the contract in June, and then we have July and August to implement the transition. Hub International Gulf South, that's who Lynn works for. They provide our consulting services with respect to the group plan. And their contract term is March 1, 2019 through February 28, 2020. If we were to switch consultants, the last time we issued an RFP was in 2015. I had attached the RFP that we did during that time. The timeline to issue an RFP and to receive and analyze proposals, it takes about 60 days, and that can be done anytime, because we can give them 30 days notice if we were unhappy and do an RFP and make a transition. Voluntary Benefits Administration, that RFP is out right now, due June 14. The proposals are due June 14. That administrator, that company we contract with, procures voluntary benefits for the employees, advises us on a benefits package, administers the benefits, and that includes enrolling employees. And that also is on a calendar year basis. I attached the RFP to the agenda item if you wanted to look at it. It takes about 60 to 90 days to transition to a new administrator. In other words, when I say that, I'm talking about we have to transmit data, payroll data, so they know what deductions come off people's checks, and they can reconcile invoices and that sort of thing. Prescription care.
And the date, before you leave that one, the proposals are due June 14th, and the evaluation is
Will be like
17th.
the following week. I'd expect that the panel would evaluate,
And the proposal,
And come
the
to the-
presentation date was June 24th,
or that week of, yes.
and then the board approves in July.
In July. And I'm hopeful that the board insurance committee will meet jointly with you, so they only have to do one
Right.
proposal, presentation. Prescription care management is a service where they analyze our prescription drug utilization and look for opportunities to offer alternative name brand drugs in order to affect savings. It doesn't have anything to do with switching to generic. It's actually, they scrub our data and they look to see, can we move Monobernor to another name brand drug that's cheaper? Then they have to contact me and my doctor, and we both have to agree. The contract term for them is September 1 of 18 through 8/31 of 19. We have been contracting with them in 2011. They came to us, and they've been able to save us a net savings, let's see, in plan year 2018, we had a net savings of $1,023,958 on name drugs. I'm not aware of any other company that exclusively provides this service. They came to our committee, made a proposal, pretty much told us if you don't save anything, we don't make anything, because they keep a percentage of savings. And so we elected to contract them, and we've not had any problems with them ever
Now
since.
that contract expires in August of this summer, and it has an option to renew?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the date in August?
The date,
Yes.
August 31?
But you said it began September 18?
September 1.
September 1 to 8/31.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. And this is attached online if y'all want to ever read it over again.
Yeah, for those of y'all who don't have the meeting, the board meeting, all these attachments are attached to the electronic board meeting.
Anything else?
That's it.
Next item is RFP for voluntary benefits. Mona just went over the dates. The proposals will be in June 14th. Carol has graciously agreed to be our representative, and some of you emailed in support of Carol, so I appreciate that because she has her work cut out for her. And then on the 24th, or that week, there'll be a meeting with the board insurance. The way the proposal was written was committee parentheses S, I think. So hopefully the board insurance committee and this committee will meet together and hear the presentations from the finalists,
Yes, ma'am.
however many we have, or they get ranked. I don't know how they're going, if they're going to choose the top 2 or 3 or,
I think you said 3, but
Three.
I'm not positive. Usually it's 3.
so that may be a date you want to write down too, June 24th. And it may change, but as soon as Mona knows what date that is, she can email it to everybody. And then in July, we'll need to send out a notice, Mona, for the board meeting when it's approved.
I can, sure can.
Just so everyone knows, as Matt said, this is attached on the board meeting site. The proposal that we approved for RFPs is not exactly what went out. There were changes made at the board insurance committee meeting by EBI, by the current vendor, and there were more changes made at the board meeting. So it's not exactly the same. I think, Mona can correct me, I think the majority of it is pretty much similar. I want to thank, there were 6 of us who were at that board meeting, that board insurance committee meeting, so I want to make sure to thank you for taking the time to come to that.
So Mona, the one that's attached to the meeting is the one that we proposed, not the one that the board sent out? The one that's attached to the meeting right now, that we're in right now?
No, that's the current.
That's
the one that went out.
Sent out.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure when you made those comments.
I think they made those changes. They made those changes at the board meeting. They made some at the board insurance committee, and then they made EBI recommended, and I think the insurance department may have. There was recommendation for some additional changes that they made.
I just wanted to make the one that, I'm sure that the one that was attached was one that was actually sent out and not the one that we proposed.
Correct.
Yeah, because the dates were different too. The dates on the one we approved.
Yes.
Communication plan for the plan changes. We talked about the plan changes in July. If you can, you'll email that to everybody.
I will. We've posted it on the web, and I'm also going to do a direct mail to retirees because that's the best way to get every retiree.
Okay.
I'll do J-calls to the employees and emails as well.
Okay, that's
Which we'll do every possible way to get it out.
great. We just don't want people surprised in your office getting inundated with people.
Right.
and
Yes.
What happened. Some more contact information I have for just about everybody. I think there are 2 people that I'm missing, and I'll try and get those so that Mona can get those voluntary benefit lists to dates to everybody. If anybody has any concerns, questions about the voluntary benefits evaluation, get them to Carol. She will be representing us. And there will be someone from the board insurance committee and someone from the staff, I think. There'll be 3 people doing the evaluation.
Correct.
A question on the change in benefits. The change in benefits, some of the out-of-pocket maximums went up. But our out-of-pocket maximums are a calendar year maximum, but we're changing it in July. So how does that work? If somebody's met their maximum, they just have to meet the difference?
I will ask. I don't think so, but I will check.
Should be like grandfathered in, right?
Yes.
I think they are.
Yeah,
Yeah, it should be great.
that's a good question.
So if you haven't met your maximum, the just maximum gets set higher?
Yeah.
But if you met your maximum, you don't have to make.
I'll make sure.
And Mona,
And put that in the notes you send
Yes.
us.
Okay.
yes,
Because,
if you'll put that in whatever you transmit to everybody,
Okay.
so we're all on the same page. That's a good question. Thanks, Matt.
it's a very good question.
Mona, report on any problems with any of those contracts.
Everything's okay so far.
Anybody have any old business? New business? Comments? Then do I have a motion to adjourn? Second? I keep looking at clock.
What happened?
You just seconded the motion to
Thank you.
adjourn. And Mona's gonna make sure she sends out, three things, Mona. The dates for the RFP for voluntary benefits, the July changes with the addition of Matt's question answered, and the list of the RFPs. And I'll be at the board meeting tomorrow night, just in case for some strange reason they move something from information to action. I can't imagine that they would want to do that, but
I don't think there will be a support of 5 people.
I don't think so either, but I'll be there anyway,
Okay, that sounds good.
just in case.
I'll be there too.
Hey, everybody, have a great summer. See you in August, not before. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Cal. Wear down.